It's your boy Radiant. It's your boy Radiant, and here we're back with another episode. When we last cut off, we had a battle ready, but one that we're watching and not participating in. We see level 44 Shazam take out. So that was excited. Yeah, there's absolutely no way he can lose. I don't know if the fight is actually running in time or if it's actually just 100% scripted. He always uses psychic, and the Zangoose always dies. And it's not like I've ever messed with it. Mostly because, again, it's pretty clear that the Alakazam is just too high leveled. Oh yes, they're now leaving. And Jovi gives the adequate thank you. And yes, before you ask, he is strange and weird, but we talked to him a handful of times. This is, in fact, a character you will be seeing. He's not, if you couldn't guess by the fact that he has a unique model compared to the other people. Oh, but we see Emily and her mom, whom I forget the name of. Oh, Acri. I have no idea if Acri and Emily form some sort of joke. Sometimes the names are pun-based because it's the type of humor that Pokemon has. I think if I recall, the Cypher Peons have some entertaining names, but I'm not getting anything from Acri and Emily. At least I think their names are. I think her name is Emily. Oh yeah, it is Emily. Although it is spelled with 2 I's, it looks like. So yeah, now you I don't know why I was goofing around there. I do recall. Oh yes, it's the standard issue with most RPGs, especially with Pokemon. Delayed goal getting. As you can see, both Makan and Per are not here right now, so you had to do something else. But talking to this guy actually gets you a reward. Namely, since you have Eevee, you get an item. Specifically, and I'm just going to explain it for you, he happens to have all 5 evolutions at the time. So it's the 3 elemental stones. So you can see Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Umbreon, and Espeon. And I was going through a few of these just to explain some of my choices here. I eventually picked the Sun Shard because I wanted an Espeon. In general, the best picks you can get for this game are going to be maybe Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Espeon, depending on what your strategy is going to be. As it is, I already have a water Pokemon in mind, so I'm not bothering. And honestly, Espeon is actually pretty handy with some of their abilities. Espeon and Jolteon are very comparable. The main difference is that Jolteon's faster, but Espeon has more attack stat, well, special attack. The only other difference is that Jolteon can learn Thunder Wave early on, which is a good paralysis move. And for some reason I decided that wasn't as important because I was going to be using Sleep for the later game. I also just knew I was going to be getting a Pokemon who was going to have Thunder Wave early on anyway, so I wasn't too concerned with getting too many Shadow Pokemon. You'll be seeing what my list is as I get them, but make no mistake, Espeon's a great Pokemon. It hits hard, and and just because Jolteon is faster doesn't mean Espeon is slow. Quite the opposite, Espeon can be pretty fast, so don't let one stack up on you. If I recall, sadly, you don't have access to the Calm Mind TM until very late in the game, so I wouldn't rely on that particular strategy. I actually was looking at several TMs that are sadly only available till endgame, which are annoying. Alright, so I completely glossed over Chobin. Yes, we have to fight Chobin with a Magikarp and a Sunkern. So yes, free XP became free XP times 2. But fine by me, because I believe it's actually beneficial for Eevee to level up, because that's what activates the stone. I know friendship is cool, but I kind of do like the Sun and Moon Shard. But I assume the whole point of those two Pokemon is they're supposed to be kind of rare and hard to get due to their friendship. Right, what was I doing? Alright, I'm actually trying to use... Alright, I was trying to use it, but I forgot. This is kind of a strange thing. It's a key item that you hold. You can't... I think that's the other problem with this game. With this idea of the Sun Shard. You don't give it to them like it's a fire or a thunderstone or a leaf stone. Like a fire, thunder, or water stone. Alright. I'll explain this later. But, so yes, we're talking to Makin, who is in fact important to what we're doing. And so Makin tells us to talk to Purr. And I believe you have to get that cat's dialogue for things to advance. No, you may not have my glasses. Oh, man. You know, I've never actually had someone ask me to wear my glasses. I know that's strange that some people hear that, but I've never had a kid say, "Hey, I want to try your glasses." I have had short hair for a while, and people wanted to touch my hair because it was, quote, springy. Yeah, that's probably gonna sound weird, but I swear people would like touching my hair because it was short, and so it would stand straight up. You're probably getting a weird idea of what my hair looked like. So yeah. Here I'm taking care of a handful of things because I know there's areas in the shop. I'm trying to figure out what I want to show off versus what would just be a waste of time. I think at one I also was debating. The important thing here to note is that there are battles you can get for more EXP, which I believe I eventually decided to do. But I believe I was deciding if I want to get more Pokemon that were going to be part of my team before I started getting more EXP, or if I just want to give them to my Eevee. Let's see, what? Alright. I think I yeah, I talked to Purr. Who is going to meet us at the part shop. So finally, we get a chance to make forward progress and get the item we need. As I said, I'm not trying to hate on a game because I understand that sometimes a game will just say, hey, this is a thing you need to do, and the point is to introduce a conflict or just to have you see, oh, you could do this thing before, but now you can. For example, before you couldn't get to a certain area, but now you can reach it. I do believe I go up to the top of the lighthouse for this, which if I recall, there is an item, but I don't Right, paralyze heal, not paralysis heal. It's still formatted like it's a GameCube game. So we're gonna take the shortcut up because I just want to show off how cool this is. Interesting thing for her to mention. So yeah, we're fighting a Poochyena and a Zubat. Except this Poochyena is a shadow Pokemon. Poochyena is a pretty cool Pokemon design-wise, but unfortunately in Gen 3... Excuse me, I was actually checking if Tackle or Bite was better. Because Tackle got buffed to 50 power compared to the 35, but I can't remember which generation switched it. Having said that, I'm pretty sure doing Tackle's still gonna do more damage, but I also just don't want to straight up kill a type. So now here's the fun part of catching the thing. I got lucky and it was already paralyzed. Paralysis or sleep is pretty good when trying to capture a Pokemon, simply because in addition to upping its capture rate, you still have to fight the Pokemon, so ensuring that's paralyzed at least denies some damage, and if it's asleep, it just has to stay still until you chip it down or catch it. So I got it here in the red, which means it's time for me to try catching it. It's important to know you can only throw one Pokeball at a time, which on one hand I suppose is actually a thing, so that way the game doesn't get killed. Actually, I don't know exactly what that rule is. I think it's just so you can have to be careful and still think of what you're doing. The game actually makes you make quite a few decisions as you go on, and I made my team to play on some interesting strategies that you can do in an exclusively double battle game. Well, borderline exclusive. Alright, so here's a thing worth noting. As she just said there, she was told... So yeah, someone gave her a shadow Pokemon, but said they didn't have enough supplies, so they wouldn't give her a uniform. Alright, this. I actually wanted to talk about something that I hear about. Fun fact, did you know that that sense of vertigo when you are on a high place is from your brain not believing the ground is actually as far away as it is, and so it tries to fix it by making the ground be perceived as closer, but your brain knows that that's wrong, so it gets confused. I guess what I'm saying is, a fear of heights is 100% natural and you shouldn't let anyone shame you for it. So, yes, I chose to go the long way down in case there's items, because, well, you're just silly not to get items. You also might have noticed while we were in that fight, as brief as it were, we weren't fighting on top of the tower as big as it was. We fought inside we fought in a area that looked like the town. Basically, the way the town is formatted, the way battles are formatted is there are large 3D, I'm gonna just say arenas that you fight in, and depending on the area you're in, there's maybe 1 or 2 different arenas to simulate where you are. So we're in this town, so it's gonna look like we're fighting in the streets of this town. And here we have a Ladybug and a Talo. And yes, one of them is a shadow Pokemon. And it's the Ladybah. Unfortunately, since I didn't heal, Poochian's not gonna help. As I mentioned, Poochian is a looks good design-wise, but in Gen 3, Poochian's not as great because Dark is considered a special move, which means, and Poochian has physical attack, and it doesn't even learn Crunch in that generation, I don't believe. I believe it does learn Crunch, unlike Absol. Absol doesn't learn it. Mono Dark types have a problem where they don't get a good moveset until later. So yeah, I also use Sand Attack here, mostly for the same reason that I like using Paralysis. It just denies them moves. Things like lowering its accuracy, making it miss. I recall trying to see if I could get like a Paraflinch or a setup going on, or even see if I could get Parafusion to go off. I considered using Swagger so that even if they hurt themselves, they'll basically be doing damage or be doing nothing to me. Swagger is actually kind of an interesting move, but I'll talk about that when it's an option. Alright, the part where I feel bad because that old man didn't realize what I did to him. He didn't realize I took his Pokemon away. I think I was goofing around with the bridges, just... because I was wondering if it mattered what order or when you placed the thing, ignoring that the arrows are kind of there for a reason. I was also trying to figure out what was the best way to set it up based off where I needed to go. Alright, and I was wondering, wait, do I need to go back here? Do I need to go into this house? Does this house give me free stuff? So, just to see if I could get a free item, I go here. And I get some flavor text about Gateon Port. So I don't care. And I look around, and there's nothing else. So yeah, apparently I kind of realized a little late that I was kind of doing things. I also believe at the moment I also had, at least during recording, there was several times where I had several guides at the ready just to try and prepare myself for what I was going to have coming forward. Because, as I said, while I did have a team, I didn't want to be missing out on things like items or even just basic stuff. Oh yeah, pickup is pretty useful, which is one reason why Teddiursa is going to be sticking around a little longer. I believe I get healed around at this point, but wrapping up, sadly neither Poochian nor the Ladybah are going to be on my team permanently. My team is more of a thing that comes together very quickly, yeah, after a certain point, but it's going to start off really, really small, which I'm fine with because honestly, you can have a lot of fun even with a restrictive team. And I want to have a very specific kind of play style going through it. So I kind of deliberately got to a point where I would push through just certain elements just to get to a certain point in the game where I could get things. This may sound strange to you guys, but I'll probably explain later. And before we sign off, here's the important part. I got the machine part I needed. So, I'll see you guys next time, where we make forward progress and actually deliver the machine part. We had to talk to no less than 3 people to get this machine part. but we can just go and talk to our mom and give it to the person who needs it. This is your boy Radiant, and I'm signing off.